what we know and understand, we understand what would be good for everybody. We know how everybody should be. You know, we know how our children should be. We know how our husbands and wives should be. We know how our in-laws and our parents, we know how everybody in the world should be. And we are certain that if they would just be the way we want them to be, everything would be terrific. But of course, everybody feels that way. Every individual feels that they know, what would be best for everyone else. And they don't realize that each of them are in their own reality, living their own life in their own way. And they have emotions, they have feelings, they get upset, they get angry. But that anger is a choice. They choose to be angry. And they'll point their finger at somebody else and say, you make me angry. But nobody can make you angry. You choose to be angry. And you get angry because of a fear that you have, because somebody said something that triggers one of your fears, and your response to that is to get angry, you see. So, yes, we all live in our own reality. We all have our own emotions, and we all believe that we know what's best for everybody else. And of course, that just doesn't work. It's so much better if you realize that other people just are who they are. Let them be how they are. Don't wish them to be different. Don't want to change them. Don't try to change them. Learn how to be positive with them just the way they are. And if there's negatives in there, well, let those go. They're not that important. Ignore the negatives and just interact with the positives. Don't push their buttons. Avoid their buttons. Don't set them off by saying things that you know are going to be upsetting to them. And in that way, you can have a good, positive relationship with almost anybody. Even people that now you don't like so much. People at the office you don't really get along with. You can have good relationship with them if you just let them be and stop judging them according to what you think, how you think they should be. They shouldn't be like that. They shouldn't say things like that. They shouldn't have that attitude. And now we get upset about what they should and shouldn't have. That's us judging them according to our reality and the way we feel. And of course, they are probably judging us, according to what their reality is. And you just have a lot of people all fussing and fighting and fuming with each other all the time because they just don't understand reality and how it works, and that we're all different. We need to just accept that. Let people be different. Everybody is doing the best they can with what they've got to work with. And what they've got to work with is a lot of beliefs and fears and things that they learned in childhood and adulthood, and that's what makes them the way they are. That's what makes them insecure. Well, when you're insecure, you can express that in two ways. You can express it in being a shrinking violet that just doesn't say much and shrinks off to the side. But that's not the way most people express it. When you're insecure, most people express it by being belligerent, by being tough, by being, this is my way or the highway. And you become arrogant and forceful, and other people need to do it your way because your way is right. And that's the way people hide their feelings of being insecure, by being blustery. It denies the insecurity. So that's kind of the way most people deal with it. And of course, it's just the thing that will annoy and bother somebody else who also is self-centered, because that, what you're doing and your feelings are just not the way they see the world. So yes, let people be. Let them be who they are, and don't impose your view of the world on everybody else. Just make sure that the things that you do are good things, are low entropy things, which means you don't get angry, because everything negative is a low entropy bad thing. Once you get rid of your fear, you no longer get angry. You no longer get upset. You no longer feel used and abused and unsatisfied and not treated well. All of that stuff just disappears when your fears disappear. You see things differently, and you take responsibility for yourself. If you start to get angry, you realize that's you, not them. You are getting angry because they are triggering one of your fears. You need to get rid of that fear. You need to not be triggered like that. You need to let them be the way they are and make it so you're impossible to trigger. Nothing can trigger you. If somebody's rude to you, you think, gee, they must really be having a hard day because they must be feeling really miserable for them to be kind of rude like that. So I wonder if there's anything I could say to help them out. So instead of getting angry, you feel compassion for people who are rude to you because you know they're having a hard time and they're upset. Their ego and their fear is giving them a hard time. So you either just get out of the way or you see if you can be helpful. But you don't start fussing at them because that's just throwing gasoline on a fire that's already burning, and it just makes everything worse.